Here in Los Angeles for the 2025 SVG Venues and Team Summit, Christian Hernandez here with Sports Video Group. We are very pleased to be joined by title sponsor Imagine Communications. It is their CEO, Steve Reynolds. Steve, how you doing, sir? Thanks for supporting this event.
Yeah, hey, great to be here. I'm really excited to see the turnout. I mean,
yeah,
a lot of people have come to look at this facility and learn more about what's going on here. So we're very excited to be the title sponsor this year.
Awesome. Not a bad space right now in Cork City,
God,
right?
Amazing.
Spacious, airy, lights perfect.
Yeah, natural light.
Exactly.
Really a gorgeous facility.
For sure. So let's start there, actually. The Intuit Dome, Imagine Communications, very much a huge part of it. Talk about the things that you have here and I guess the process of being inside of this building and so what it is right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, when Jason and the team started working on this project, you know, they knew that they wanted to build the project around an IP infrastructure, right? So using SMPTE ST2110 as kind of the core infrastructure. And the reason they wanted to do that was just because of the incredible flexibility it gives them, right? By moving everything into IP, by having this really flexible routing system, and they do use the Magellan orchestration platform here, as well as about 89 of our SMPs, our Selenium network processors. It just gives them the ability to dynamically reconfigure the facility.
Sure.
Kind of, you know, next level or next generation flexibility, which in a venue like this is absolutely essential, right? Because they're doing Clippers games here, they're doing concerts here, they're holding special events. Jason was talking with us about some of the ways that they use Court B, which is the room that we're in right now. And just the amount of flexibility that they have in this facility, you can really only get when you make that move towards a full IP infrastructure.
Right, and we're talking about future-proofing facilities. Doesn't get much future-proof and future-centric than this one, right? So obviously that's huge in what you guys are doing. Outside of Intuit Dome, Imagine Communications is still doing a lot of builds, college space, professional space, all that.
Yeah.
So I guess talk about the current updates that are coming from the venue space and just in general what Imagine is seeing in the industry, especially on the side.
You know, in a way, what was built here at Intuit Dome really is kind of a look into the future of where a lot of other teams and leagues and venues are moving, right? And they're doing it for the same reason. When you think about what's happening with sports rights right now, and by the way, sports is a huge business for us precisely because the rights are so valuable.
Right.
Okay, so why are the rights so valuable? It's because of the audience it attracts. You know, live sports continues to be one of the most important segments of television and streaming, right? I mean, it's what viewers want. It's what viewers want to engage with.
Right.
But because it's on so many different platforms now, the need to be able to create content, not just for the primary, you know, live broadcast.
Sure, people here, whatever,
but everything else, right? The stuff that we're doing inside of these venues, the things that you can do with the mobile application, some of the direct-to-consumer stuff that's getting done, and then all the secondary content with player interviews and replays and things like that. I mean, it really does create a very rich set of content.
Sure.
And we're seeing that all around the world, right? I mean, it's in the major league venues here in the U.S. for sure. I mean, the North American market's huge.
Right.
But Imagine does a lot of work in other regions, right? We do a lot of work in Europe, especially with the Premier Football leagues over there. We do a lot of work with OBS. You know, every 2 years they do something with the Olympics, and we're a big part of that. But then, you know, increasingly you're seeing more and more sports across wider and wider kind of interests, right? Women's athletics has become huge in the last couple of years. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and even, you know, some of the other leagues and some of the other sports that we see, because it is moving to this kind of an IP infrastructure, what it does is it democratizes that. You can have many more sources of content.
You can dump a lot of more stuff on there.
Well, and you can get it to a lot more people.
Right.
Because it's not just NFL to, you know, one of the big four networks. Yeah. Now all of a sudden you have these distribution channels that are global.
Sure.
And you can get to special interest communities that want to see that kind of content.
Sure.
So, and a big enabler of that is just moving everything towards IP, moving everything towards cloud native, and starting to do more of the production, more of the play out, and more of the streaming directly out of the cloud.
A lot of this stuff is more than just inside these four walls. It's also just outside people's phones, all that stuff.
Yeah, right, yeah. But it starts with having the right kind of infrastructure in a facility like this. And like I said, you know, what they've done here really is kind of a blueprint for what you're going to see in the next generation of facilities.
Sure. Taking back to here, last one for you, Steve. But just being here today, the reasoning for titling this and being a part of this, the conversations, the learning, the education.
Yeah.
Why do you think it was important to be here?
Look, what makes this work is collaboration and partnership, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that Imagine has always had as a core value is really building things around open standards so that we can have collaboration like this, right? And that includes, other technology suppliers. It includes the IT companies like Cisco and Arista. We were talking about that earlier today. The role that those IT infrastructure companies play. But it's also the systems integrators, and it's also the other application providers. What makes all of this work is building around a common set of open standards.
Right.
And the kind of collaboration that we see at events like the SVG Summits is exactly the place where that conversation starts.
Awesome. Well, Steve, thank you again for titling. Thank you for being here. Appreciate all your support.
Great to see ya.
Enjoy the rest of the day.
It's going to be a fun day, I think.
Yep. Steve Reynolds from Imagine Communications here at the 2025 SVG Venues and Teams Summit. For more interviews like this one with Steve, please head over to our website at sportsvideo.org.